and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kimberly Simpson, and in this video I'll be sharing about dance injuries and how I have overcome those. Or should I say dance and being injured, because most of my injuries actually come from outside the studio. I know that, some people will say that you're aging a little bit and you're not a teenager. My body now, in its current state, this is actually much better than it was when I was a teenager, and I'll share a few reasons why. Finding that my body is so much stronger and less likely to become injured in dance than it was as a teenager. And I'll share why in a moment. A few things that I have done in order to either cure myself of injuries or prevent injuries, and that starts with sleep. And it sounds really cliche, but sleep is a foundation to so many things in life. It can prevent, so many different stressors. Nap time as a child, I'm sure we all hated it, but I really love nap time, and I take every chance that I can on the weekends to have a nap, because it's just so important. It just gives me like a quick reset of the day. Being able to sleep a little bit better and having better sleep patterns, it gives me more energy to perform, and I'm able to have energy throughout the day. And I'm also finding that it really does help me in terms of muscle recovery and injury recovery as well. Really work on, or have been working on this past few months, as well as right now, is anti-inflammatory foods incorporated more into my diet. And that also ties in with sleep as well. So in terms of some of my nighttime routines, I really focus in on anti-inflammation or replenishing my muscles, whether it be a protein shake or a turmeric latte or a ginger tea. And that's something that I'll do right before I go to bed, so that I'm giving my body as much time and energy that it needs to help rebuild itself, as opposed to just trying to do things throughout the day to try and help that. I give my body an extra boost by doing all of these things right before I go to bed. Next, I have been religiously attending the chiropractor, and I started going to my chiropractor on a regular basis since, I would say, during the pandemic. So I would go off to a work trip as a disaster responder, and then I would come home, I'd go to an appointment, and then I'd leave again. Or we would be doing video calls or like text messaging about certain things. And I have been able to heal so many things because I've been working with a professional, and he is one of the best. And I'm very happy to have met him, because I'm able to move forward with some of my dance goals, and he's been absolutely incredible. I've been able to heal everything, and I find that I don't have a lot of roadblocks in terms of muscular imbalances anymore, or just different things. We worked on so many things in terms of my injuries, and even preventative things as well. And that has been such a catalyst for me, and that's another reason why I'm able to keep going and at the level that I am right now. And I also know that that is also going to be a major reason of why I'll be able to train at such a high level coming up very soon in the future. And speaking of performing at high levels, I also have another tip, and this is regarding exercises and accessory exercises. Now, we talk about this all the time in terms of cross training, but my chiropractor, he taught me about accessory exercises. And his name is Nick Centrito. And we went over so many exercises when it comes to my hip flexors. And oh my gosh, I'm like, my body is just so different now. And prior to even working on my oversplit exercises, I've been able to heal so much in my body in terms of my muscular imbalances. I think there's a term for it, and I think it's called the dancer's hip, where you'll lift up your leg and then you'll hear a click. But I have so much less of that going on right now, and it has been incredible. So the other note that I would add in terms of working with a professional is, even if you're on like a vacation or you're out visiting family, I would make a quick trip for, let's say, for example, if you have an emergency and you really need to see someone. And for example, back in the summer, I was visiting family back in the GTA, the Toronto area. And I just really needed to go to a chiropractor or physiotherapist. It would either be for a adjustment or massage therapy, or I was working on my tendonitis and sitting at a desk sometimes and typing. It's a lot of repetitive movement, and to be honest, I don't believe that there's any amount of ergodynamics that could have helped me. I really needed to go to a physiotherapist. So I got a massage, and then we worked on some tendonitis exercises, and I've been doing those religiously in my morning routine exercises. So I'll block out maybe 15 minutes at the end of my workout to do these little exercises, and I have 0.5% of pain for tendonitis throughout the day, and I've really been able to reduce all of that, and it has been incredible. So that is something that I would really recommend adding in. I know it might be a little bit tedious and annoying to add another 15 minutes on top of all the other things that you're doing after your workout. For example, for me, I have my warm up, and then I have my accessory exercises, and then I do foot exercises, and then I also do my flexibility. So that's 5 different parts of my workout. And to be honest, 1 hour doesn't cut it for me. And even now that I'm at home, I find that my workouts are usually about an hour and 15 minutes if I'm doing everything. Sometimes I'll leave a few things out during my morning, but for the most part, those are the 5 main areas that I focus on for my morning routine. And next is icing, as well as compression. And I think that the other great thing to being a dancer is we've really learned how to take care of ourselves over the years. And it's not just because we have things to perform, but also we need to figure out how to function in our everyday lives outside of ballet and outside of dance. And I've been finding that I have a foot massage device, and I also have a back massage device. I have so many different things that help me to recover my body and be able to continue on. So most of my injuries, again, are not from dance. It's from repetitive exercises or random things. So for example, walking in heels. People say all the time, oh, how do you walk in heels? Well, yeah, I can dance in heels too, but I find that whenever I'm tripping over, whenever I'm tripping, if I'm walking or something, it's usually not because I'm in high heels. It's usually those little clunky heels or like a flip-flop or something. It's never because I'm in high heels. So those are some of the things that I struggle with, and I'm learning, what shoes can I keep around, and I'll probably need to go through some of my heels and do away with some at this moment so that I can make sure that I'm not putting little roadblocks in the way. So that is all for today, and those are some of my tips in terms of injuries and how I dealt with them. And I think that, the future is really bright for ballet. I know people keep talking about how it's a dying art form, and I really don't think that it is. I think that there's a lot that can be done, and I'm really excited about being a part of this, being in the arts world and taking my experiences from the commercial side, business side of it all, and the fundraising side, and being able to incorporate all of these things into, the career that I've built over the years, and now I just want to dance. So I'm sharing that journey with you, and thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please hit subscribe and like, or give a comment below, and we'll see you soon. Hi, my name is Kimberly Simpson, and thank you for tuning in again to another episode of my Dancers Dialogue. And if you like this video, please hit subscribe and send a comment below this video. I'd love to hear from you. So today I'm going to talk about professional ballet as an adult. And dance has changed quite a bit over the years. Things are more acceptable, even in the commercial world, and heels dancing and hip hop. They've always encouraged having a life outside of dance, mostly from where I'm coming from. In terms of my training, I think that I've had some really great teachers over the years, and I had my first audition when I was 11 years old, but I didn't really get into any sort of serious ballet training until I was about 14, 15. And then I got an academic award in dance. I know that there is some apprehension out there about, letting adults into more serious training programs and having that available for people, but I've noticed a big shift during the pandemic. And this is, of course, while I was traveling for work. So I, of course, didn't get a chance to fully experience the new changes that were coming about in the dance world. I was able to find my way eventually again, and I'm now doing some very serious training. And this has perhaps been long coming in that, I had projects that I was working on, but I was always either playing small roles or in the background. And now I'm learning that, I'm kind of propelled now out there. And in terms of training, I'm just right there in terms of some of the more advanced technique and, roles that I could be taking on. So I'm very excited about that, and very privileged to still have those doors open for me. So some of the things that I've noticed as dancing as an adult is self-learning. There's a lot of self-learning involved and motivation. In terms of my previous experiences, I found that, I always would end up in some sort of a drop-in class. Even as a teenager, I did a lot of little intensives here and there, self-guided intensives. Now I'm learning that a lot of my work before I even get into the dance studio is actually going to happen at home. And, this is what I've been told, throughout my life, but I'm really honing in on that in terms of, putting together cue cards for myself, or exam notes, or, notes from my classes, and reviewing that, and actually doing exercises at home to make some improvements. So I was never super serious about any of that until maybe a few years ago, 2022, I would say. Next is resourcefulness and creativity. So dancing as an adult, some of us have, multiple jobs that we have, or, families. And I've been finding that making space for myself has been the best strategy in terms of keeping things around that I enjoy doing, and really just being in love with the process of growing. And I think that the moment that I stop learning and growing, that's the moment where I hit some sort of depression, because I'm the kind of person where I'll set some goals, and it's important for me to at least try. But this year I've really been making some very strategic steps in a certain direction, and has just been making sure that doors are actually opening up for me. And I heard that it's more of like a sign of alignment, possibly an alignment that I've never really had in a very long time. The move for me has really been that kind of catalyst in terms of not just a creative outlet or, working on a little project here and there, but very substantial. This is the identity. This is who you are, and so much support for that. And it's really warming. Next, maintaining a life outside of work. Again, as a adult creative, it's important to have other things that you do outside of your job, as well as having other things that you do outside of dance as well. And as a teenager or, a kid in the performing arts, the arts was my whole life, and I didn't really have, a whole lot of friends. I would say that some of my social skills were not as developed as others, in that I was always engulfed in some of the things that my parents had me involved in, like classical music. I started playing, in a classical music orchestra, and we would travel and we would compete, and I was playing the clarinet, and it was a really serious program that I was in. I didn't have really a lot of other things that I was doing, but of course we had to keep our grades up, etc. But in terms of, dancing as an adult, there are other things that we enjoy outside of dance, and vice versa. There should be other things that you enjoy outside of your work. Next is, so my final note is the dance world is finally seeing that, we still exist as adults in the ballet world, and, we still have dreams that we want to see come to fruition, or there are dreams that are made for certain people. And sometimes of course, there will be a time limit. If you're able to just get in during that certain window and work really hard, I think anything is achievable in terms of professional ballet as an adult. And I'm very excited for this next year. I'm also a little bit afraid in that this year has been so insane but good